All of There we go. Welcome to everyone. I'm glad to see some familiar faces here or names on my screen. And today we're going to do practical AI setups. And yeah, so I'm actually going to set up a few agents live for you on screen. I am going to keep it quite basic in the beginning. I know there might be people from different various skill levels here. So this will not be an agent that automatically trades polymarket and all of those things. So if you came here for this, it's not going to be that. But yeah, I'm going to set up agents that run on a local machine. And from what we had last time in our webinar, we actually saw that there was a lot of interest in that, and we want to address that. So what I will do today, a team of agents on a local machine. I'm going to create a fictional small business with a team of agents that's going to try and make this small business work. And then I'm going to show you how they all work together, how to train them. And also I'm going to keep it also quite simple. I'm going to keep everything inside the Claude desktop app. So we're not going to do any terminal installs. We're not going to do VS Code. Although I know some of you might work in VS Code and in terminal. That's perfectly fine. Everything you can do now, what I'm going to do, you can also do in terminal and VS Code. So just saying that. The demo you saw last time where I had agents handing over to each other, I was running in VS Code, but today I'm going to run in Claude Desktop. So you can actually download the Claude Desktop app and do the thing that they think is the most important, swipe your credit card, and then you will be able to see what I see. And when you are watching this afterwards, you can follow along. So, and if you already have Claude installed, you're welcome to follow along as well, and or go in parallel with me. Just a few things. We do have Q&A at the bottom right of your screen. You will see these 9 dots. You can go there, go to Q&A, and you can submit a Q&A, and then we have a approver which will approve them, and I will answer them at the end, or if I see them pop up, I will answer them right there if I can, if it's quite simple. So, and then afterwards we will have this available on YouTube for you to also follow along. And yeah, so let's kick off. So before I start, I just want to create. So today is going to be live coding session. So I don't have any presentation slides or anything. So I'm just going to screen share and show you what I have. And yeah, so just a few things before I start is you're going to hear a few things that I say. One of them is MD files that I'm going to refer to a lot. That stands for Markdown file. For those of you who don't know, a Markdown file is a text file that AI likes reading Markdown files. It's also a file that can give your AI instructions, and it's a very lightweight file. The size is very small, and you can have Markdown files that are actually quite big, and you can literally build an agent's whole personality in a Markdown file. So yeah, we're going to work with Markdown files. At the end of the day, our structure is going to be a folder with agents living inside the folder in the form of Markdown files. So that's the most basic way, an intro you can get to a team of agents. And yeah, so I'm going to head over and share my Claude code or my Claude desktop screen, and then we're going to start from there. So I'm just going to switch off my camera while I do the sharing. So yeah, I'm going to share my screen here, and let me do this. Okay, so now everyone will be able to see my Claude desktop screen. I'm just going to quickly give you a rundown. I'm going to assume that quite a few of you are actually literally just installing now, and you can see this in front of you. One of the things to note is that here in the sidebar, you will see one of the most important things. You will see chat and co-work and code. It's very important that you know exactly which one you are flipping through. For this webinar, we will not touch code. We will do that in another one. We will also chat is a little bit too basic for me. That's just where your typical chat GPT, where you ask it questions and it gives you things back. Co-work, I love. Co-work is quite powerful in the sense that co-work can access my files. Co-work can access my browser. It can browse through Chrome. I can actually give it instructions to go in Chrome, log into my LinkedIn and do things there. I can do that. And I'll show that to you later. And the most important thing for me over here is that we work in projects. And yeah, if you see me, you can't see my camera, but I'm working on 2 screens. So yeah, I will now show you how I start this out. So the first thing I normally do is whenever I'm going to start a clean project here. And what I normally like to do is it helps you create context. And context is something that you will start hearing a lot in AI. People will talk a lot about context. You will hear some people find it frustrating to re-explain themselves to Claude or to ChatGPT or whoever. And this is one of the first steps you can take to keep context. And that is to create a project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a project, and I'm going to say start from scratch. I'm going to start from scratch. And I'm going to say demo agents. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to say just some instructions. This is a business making use of various agents. Okay. Then something super important that you'll see later is make sure you can see where this folder is. It will come in later. I will tell you why. And then I will say create. And so here, now we are in our demo agents project. I can always go back to my project. I can see there are 2 here. I can just come in here. So the first thing that a lot of people ask me is like, why would I use a bunch of markdown files, which you'll see in a second, if Claude can just keep context of a very long chat for me? And one of the main reasons I do that is I'm just going to switch my camera back on because I realize that I'm explaining a lot with my hands. So one of the reasons why I like putting all my agents in markdown files and not just having Claude keep context of all of that is if you have all of this data living in Claude, you're kind of married to Claude. So if something goes wrong or they become super expensive for some reason, then all your data lives with them. Where, on the other hand, if you create a folder, which we just did, and there's markdown files living in that is totally agnostic of whichever LLM you're using, whether it's Anthropic with Claude, whether it's Codex, whether it's ChatGPT, whether it's DeepSeek. It's totally, we are basically going to build a team of agents that are totally agnostic of what LLM I'm using. So that's also why you want to do this. So what I did is I already created a prompt for us so that I don't have to spend too much time typing in this webinar. So I hope the South Africans who are in the call is going to love this fictional business. I did it especially for all of you. So my first prompt. So I'm going to say, I'm going to set up a team, and this team is going to work together. and they're going to create a wine import company called Wynand. And this company is newly formed micro importer of South African wine into Berlin. And this company will focus. Oh, I see Amanda is here. So she's actually in wine. So you can copy this, Amanda. You can just literally copy everything I'm going to do here. I'll sell you my team of agents after this call. So yeah. So one of the things is that I always say, be really intentional in how much context you give to Claude. And just for the rest of this webinar, when I say Claude, I mean AI as a whole. I use them interchangeably. So here I said I'm going to set up a team of agents. Okay, it's Spain. And here I say main goals of the team. What's the main goals this team should reach? And then I said just some notes I want to do here. And then I said each agent is an MD file, sorry. And all MD files live in one folder, which is the folder we created. And I said, here are descriptions of the agent. So I said, there's a chief of staff. This is the agent that manages all the communication between all the agents, and it's a direct contact between me and the team. I talk to this agent, sorry, typo there, and this agent triages where and who to ask for information. Second agent, competition researcher. This agent scans the activity of some of the biggest players in my industry and in my area, Berlin. The agent can use LinkedIn and general news sources. Then I have a logistics agent. This agent's an expert in wine imports and exports from South Africa to Germany. This agent will be critical in pricing discussions in the market. Then later I have a sales manager, and I end up with strategists. And this is also quite an important role. This agent is the agent that ties all together and assigns tasks to humans as well as other agents in order to reach the company's strategic goals. You will see that is something that I say a lot when I talk about agents. And I think I said it last time, but it's worth repeating. The difference between an agent and a workflow. People normally use those interchangeably. An agent has got goals. And a workflow is a set of tasks that do this, then that, then that, then that, then that. That's a workflow. So agents have goals. And how they get to that goal is up to them. And then I end up with, from here, I would like you to go and create separate MD files for the agents before we start training them. That's going to be where the fun comes in. So just to make sure everything is working, you can see that context over here on the right. It says on your computer, demo agents. There's a folder that it created, and my memory is switched to on, and we'll get to that later. And then I can see I'm working in my demo agents folder. And yeah, for this, I'm going to use Sonnet 4.6. We don't have to use Opus for anything now for this webinar, but if you want to get way more deeper research, you can do that. So let's go. Let's give it this and let it think a bit. So the most important thing we will want to see is here on the side. We will actually start seeing Claude creating agents, because this demo agents over here is only the folder. It's only the folder. So ideally, we would want to see MD files of agents starting to be loaded in here. So, okay, it says, let me build all 5 agent files. I will write them in parallel. So yeah, let's give it a little bit of time to do its thing. I'm just flipping between some screens here. Okay. Okay, so you can see it's created the chief of staff, and we can see the MD file appears here. So there's a file now created, chief of staff MD. It's going to create the next one now. You will also see a lot of Claude work as you looking at it working. So yeah, I just want to. Okay, there's the second one. Competition researcher is done. It's over there. And again, remember the reason why we want to create separate, because sometimes it looks like you're just chatting to Claude a lot, but we're definitely creating separate files of every agent. And when we are later talking about context, if there's time left, I want to show you something where how I create this context neural pathways. But if we don't have time, I'll do that in a separate webinar. Okay. Logistics agent is created. Okay. Okay, it's right. It's currently writing the sales manager role. And again, all of this you can actually, if you're currently someone who works in VS Code or Terminal, you can definitely do all of this there. I've just chosen co-work because the reason I choose co-work is later in the webinar, I actually want my sales manager to go onto LinkedIn to do some things for us. Good. Yes, now it's creating the last one, the strategist. So let's give it some time to do that. Just by giving me a thumbs up, who of the people on the call have created context with Obsidian before? Like anyone? Ah, okay. Okay, cool. There's some Obsidian users here. I'm going to, if we have time left, I'm going to try create an Obsidian graph of all of these agents. Okay. Okay, here it says to me, okay, all 5 files are created and saved to your demo agents folder. There's a chief of staff, competition researcher, logistics, sales, as we said. Each file creates full role description, core responsibilities, weekly and monthly tasks, KPIs, communication protocols, and output formats. A few things to worth noting. The logistics file includes blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to get into everything now, but here we can see the MD files of all of the agents. So I'm just going to quickly go in this, just click on the chief of staff, and this is an MD file. So this is an MD file, and you can actually see role overview, chief of staff, operator. So it has actually filled this in with as much information as it possibly can. And from here, so this is a very generic chief of staff. From here, we will want to actually train it to get better. We can see the competition researchers over here. I think it might be interesting to see the strategist as well. And yeah, so it actually filled in quite a lot of information here about wine, 12-month goals, some logistics goals, sale. It even filled in logistics, sales, and intelligence. Very cool. So these are now my 5 agents. So now I can start interacting with them, and I can start stress testing them, but most importantly, start training them. So I'm just going to close over here. So now I have basically, if you think about it, I currently have 5 pretty dumb agents here. So what I can do is just to show you again, if I go back to my demo agents folder, you can see here that suddenly on outputs, I have all of these files, which are markdown files, chief of staff, competition, all of those. It also says to me what I've recently done. And if I go over here and on my computer, I can see these MD files. Super important. Again, if I now decide I'm dropping Claude and I'm going to DeepSeek, I still have all of these files still exist on my computer. They're living on my hard drive. Okay, so now let's check out what this team is up to. Okay, I've just copied and pasted some some prompts here already, so I don't have to type everything. So I'm going to say, hello team, chief of staff, please give me a rundown of the current state of affairs and what are the most pressing tasks? Because remember, they've got goals, all of them, right? So let's see what it does. Let's see what it spits out here. It's always quite a black box thing because you can prepare prompts, but you can never, it never gives the same thing twice for you. Okay, let's see who it's loading. Okay, it's thinking, searching files. Okay. Reading files. Okay, let's see where it's read 6 files, so it's definitely scanned all my note before the brief. I don't currently have live connections to any external tools. That's fine. Yeah, that's quite cool. So it already tells me that I don't have connection to a CRM, email, or task tracker list yet. This means I'm working from the Teams role documents. That's perfectly fine. If you have CRM, email, you would then connect it in your connectors. And then that's also what makes your team of agents quite powerful. Where we are on the roadmap, it depends on when our projects launch. I don't have that date in memory yet. So yeah, it's got some, I think this is the most important, most pressing items for you, connected teams tools, and the May monthly reports been delivered. So it's already like asking me for reports from the logistics, the sales report and all that. So I'm going to say, no, let's train the strategist agent first. Let's call the agent, and I want to brainstorm strategy. Let the strategy agent ask me 5 questions, 5 most pressing questions. Okay, so let's see. Now we want the strategist agent to get woken up essentially and ask me a few things. Again, note that I have these 5 agents over here. Strategist online, routing through chief of staff. Okay. Remember I said I must always go through chief of staff. Wynand, to build a strategy worth executing, I need ground truth on 5 fronts. I can only ask 4 at a time. Let's start with the 4 most foundational. So now what's happening is this strategist is now asking me questions in order to essentially train itself. That's also a really cool tip. If you are prompting Claude or any AI platform, one of the best hacks I can give you is always end your prompt with ask me questions to make sure you understand. That is like a really good hack for prompting. Okay, where are we in timeline? When did Wynand officially start? Let's say it's just starting out. Do we have a confirmed wine portfolio? Yes, let's say there's confirmed. I'm just like giving it random stuff here now. What is the current state of your Berlin sales pipeline? Let's say active outreach. How much time can you personally dedicate to Wynand per week right now? Let's say 15 to 5 hours. Okay. Okay. What is Wynand's single biggest constraint or blocker now? The one thing is solved that would most accelerate progress. Let's go. I want to say sales and market access because I want to just demo for us the sales and marketing agent as well. So I'm going to say this. And please keep in mind that I can spend endless time training each of these agents. And over time, that's what you actually want to do, right? You want to get each of them smarter and smarter and smarter. I'm now just working on my strategist agent. What's working in your favor, blah, blah, blah. So it's already like starting to train this the strategist agent. This is quite cool. My recommended priority stack for the next 30 days. First move is to get the logistic agent. Here it actually says, get the logistics agent to map out the full import process and produce an internal compliance checklist. So it already is passing work onto the logistics agents, which is really cool because you always want agents to pass work between each other. Because whenever that's how I always set up agents. Make sure that every agent is not too much of a generalist. Because I can probably have one agent and say, you're a strategist and you know competition and you know logistics and you know this, and it's just going to become super bloated. So what you want to do is like make sure your agents are like really, like they must be a really specialist in one area, because then you can make this agent rather have, I almost want to say, let's say you have a marketing team, rather have 10 different agents in a marketing team, one doing only SEO, one doing only Instagram, one doing only LinkedIn outreach, stuff like that. So make sure your agents are really very thin, but very specialized. But one thing I always, I'm not going to build this whole business now. Maybe it can be cool, like over the weeks that I'm going to show you quite a lot of stuff from. It's actually a cool idea. Over the next few weeks where I'm going to show you a lot of stuff in the webinar, I think we should come back and use the wine thing as the example all the time. Because our next webinar, actually, which I think every one of you are going to love, I got our head of UX, and he's going to give us a whole webinar on Claude design. It's going to be insane. So I think then we can also use the wine thing. So it's going to be quite cool. But what I want us to do is I want to show you how the agents can work together. So I'm just going to flip back. Oh, no, sorry. I want to show you one thing is, so I just want to flip back, and then I'm going to say, hey, strategist, which other agents would you build if you can? So this is like, I always call it agentception, because it's basically you're asking an agent what other agents they want to build to reach your strategic goals. This is always a very cool prompt for me, because you're essentially asking AI to sense check its own work. And while it does this, I just want to quickly check all the, I prepared some other prompts for us as well. Okay. Oh, so you can actually see, oh, that's interesting. It's reading the logistics agent. It's calling we can see the strategist really wants to sort out logistics for some reason. So it's calling the logistics agent. So yeah, this agent is fond of, he really wants to solve logistics. Priority 1, brand and context agent. So that's another agent you can create. The gap right now, every account acquisition depends on cold outreach. Priority 2, producer relations agent. That can be cool. Priority 3, a finance and margin agent. Oh, I haven't even thought of that. And on the radar for later, not yet a priority, compliance agent, and a customer success agent. It can be pretty cool. But what I want to do for now, I want to quickly show you also the power of Claude Cowork. So what I want to do is I'm just on my other screen. I'm going to open up a browser window, because I want to show you when my agents are actually accessing the web. So I'm just going to move this like that. Sorry, just like this. Okay. So what I'm going to do is going to say, hey, sales agent, can you access my Chrome browser? This, sorry, just one thing. I installed the Chrome plugin for Claude in my Chrome browser. So that's just why this works quite well. Can you access my Chrome browser and see my LinkedIn? My LinkedIn is open, just letting you all know. So on my second screen, I will now be actually see my Claude actually accessing my browser and see. Okay, so it's accessing my browser. I can see it on this side, and then it asks me if I want to allow access to LinkedIn. Yes. Okay. And now it's reading my page. I can see your LinkedIn. You're logged in as Wynand. 1 new notification, 2 unread messages. If it's one of you guys, sorry. And yeah, this post from Julian Tyker about a rooftop dinner and mention of the Delta ecosystem. LinkedIn's also suggesting games. Nice. So yeah. So what I will now do is, as the sales manager, check on LinkedIn the most important contacts I must, important contacts you must make in Berlin in the wine industry. What I'm going to say is, just because I want to just protect people's privacy as well, here is do not show names, only show the companies these people work for. Yeah, do not show names, only show the companies of these people who work for. Okay, let's see what it does. I will see on my side if it's actually accessing my LinkedIn. Loading my tools. Okay, I can see it's opening my LinkedIn. Actually should show like, it's navigating to LinkedIn. Let's see what it does. Because what you want to do now from here is like when your agent is now reaching out to LinkedIn, you want that LinkedIn outreach to feed into your strategy again. Let's see how far we can get this agent to go in the little time we have here. Okay. I can see it's working in my browser, just letting you all know. Okay. This is the most relevant profiles. Got it. Oh, director and virgin voyages. Let me check the other key profiles. Okay. Okay. Track page. Okay. Wine director. Okay. 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 Batch. Okay. One director, one-on-one, one retail. Yeah. Here we have wine and marketing, DTC consulting, VW wine consultancy, Vino digital, Cardiff. So it actually like pulled in. Yeah, it did do a few things, but oh, Matthias Restaurant, Wine Director, Virgin Voyager. So it actually went in here and like already searched like who it should reach out to, the most important priority contacts to focus on. That's here. And then I said, please inform the strategist agent of your findings. Okay, so now what you want to do is you want agents to hand off work between each other. Let me check the strategist agent session first. Session is like a strategist. Let me read this context and then cross my fingers for. So perfect. Workflow strategist can pick up. Okay. So, so it's actually, that's interesting. So it's actually creating a separate MD file of just like the sales intelligence that it has created in contacts. That's quite interesting. So my agent is now creating a separate MD file for the other agents to read. Yeah, here's the briefing. It's written a full Intel briefing, and let's see what it is. Oh, so this is the Intel brief, sales Intel of the Berlin wine industry, and it has broken it down into tier 1, and it has Swill Society, Vino Digital, and then I also noted that the strategist's own recommendation, building out the brand and content agent, becomes critical. So it actually can we see what happens here? At the end, this is super important. I also noted the strategist's own recommendation, building out the brand and content agent, becomes critical before approaching Cardivet. Cardivet is like, how can we describe it? It's like this massive luxury retailer in Berlin. It reminds me of the Cape Town waterfront, basically. It's in that level. Since a buyer there will Google Wynand before responding to any outreach. So, I mean, we can now actually see how these agents are creating things between themselves. And this is one of the, I mean, we can go on and ask it multiple questions from here, but I just wanted to show you how you can create multiple agents. You can create agents that have different file formats inside your folder structure, and they can also create some more content from there as well. So what I want to do, however, now is, while I'm doing this, I want to quickly touch on how we can create some context in here. I know that we want to have some Q&A as well, so I want to leave some time for that. So please put your questions in the Q&A if you have any, and then I would like to, I actually already, Levana, I saw you have there's a question from Levana here. Can you prompt, train, and use only one agent at a time? 100%. You can 100% do that. You can, so remember in the beginning, I said one of my main prompt was the chief of staff will always manage the rest, and I will respond through the chief of staff. So you can remove that, and you can just say, listen, team of agents, and I can talk to whoever I want. I see someone's raised a hand. The permission on the webinar is so that we can just do Q&A. So if you have a question, please leave it in the Q&A and I will get to it. So yeah, I quickly want to, so if anyone else has any questions, Q&A, please. And while we do that, I'm going to check if I can create us quickly, while we wait for Q&As to come in, to create a little bit of a, just dipping our toes into context graphs. So, yeah, I'm going to open up my Obsidian. If any of you haven't heard of Obsidian, you can download the app, and so what you can do is you can download the Obsidian app, and you can then create vaults and things inside of it. So I'm quickly going to just open up my Obsidian. And I'm going to share screen with you, just so you can see how I run through it. For anyone who has used Obsidian or want to use Obsidian for context, I will quickly do this. Hold on, I'm going to screen share for you. So yeah. Okay. So what I do from here is that I'm going to create a new vault, and I'm going to, so a vault is essentially a collection of files, and I normally see it as a vault can be, I normally use vaults as a team of agents is one vault for me. And I also create vaults as an area where context must only live in that area and not leak out into other areas. So that's what I use vaults for as well. I like to use open folders vault. So I'm quickly going to open up a folder, and then I am going to go to the folder where I had the demo agents in. Okay. Okay. So if we now look at this, let me just check. Is it sharing? My screen stopped sharing. Okay, I'm going to quickly share my Obsidian again. So when I've created a new vault, it should look something like this. Let's check my screen share. Okay. So yeah, so a vault should look like this. And here we can see, because I have now built my agents to operate as separate MD files, I can actually, they sit over here. And this is now totally outside of Claude, and I can deploy any LLM to now interact with this. If we click on this, we can actually see how the chief of staff looks, competition researcher, all of these. But what we see here is normally the important part for me, is these dots. And we can see there's actually no connection between them yet. Although in Claude's got connection between all of them, and it knows how to create context between all of them. So what I will now do here, which is a pretty cool nifty trick, is I will go back to my Claude. So I'm quickly going to screen share for you back to my Claude. And I'm going to show you how I create context between all of them. So I'm just going to go back to my Claude. I'm going to say, so I'm back in my Claude where I was. It's my screen sharing. We'll need, is my screen sharing? Not? Okay, stop sharing. Let me check. No. Claude. Okay, here we go. So what I would now do is inside this, because remember, I'm still working in my demo folder over here. I will say, I would like to create a context graph of my agents. I am working in Obsidian. Quick check here. Here. I actually created this prompt already. So basically what I say is I'm using Obsidian to link all my files. Can you use the wiki method and square brackets to link concepts in the MD files for me? I'm just going to run that command. So now just to give you everyone an idea, I will do a whole webinar on Obsidian and context. This is just a little teaser of how to create context between all of your files. And while Claude is doing that, I'm going to quickly switch you back to my Obsidian, so you can see how it's actually creating a context graph over there of these agents. So let me quickly do that. view. Okay. Just currently waiting to create all of this. So we will actually see that the moment Claude is done here, you will see this massive context graph suddenly appear here. So let's wait for that. I can tell you that from what I see on my screen, Claude is still, it's got a still thinking, currently running. I'll quickly check what, yeah, it here says, I have a clear picture of all the files. I will add Obsidian wiki links. So it just says that it's got a clear view of everything now. And we will hopefully see a context graph appearing in my Obsidian anytime soon. It's currently creating all the links. So this is actually a very cool way to have all your agents linking to each other. And also, again, what I'm trying to do here, oh, here's something happening. Can we see how it's actually building context between all of them? Okay. So we will, I wanted to build some more context on that. Okay, it's still busy. So what it will do is, the reason why I'm doing all of this, just again, is I don't want to be married to Claude inside and have all my data. Oh, we can see something's happening. I don't want all my data and all my context and all my agents to live inside Claude's ecosystem. Yes, Claude's amazing, but I don't know what happens tomorrow or the week after. So I like to create systems that are agnostic of a provider. So, and when your agents live in MD files and in context graphs, it basically means they're totally agnostic. Okay, let's see it's happening over here. It's now linking the logistics. So let's see what happens over here. Ah, there's more context coming. So just for everyone, Obsidian links these. It shows you how things are linked to each other with the purple. So there's nothing there yet. So the competition researcher is there. Strategist is linked. We will see, if we click on the file, we will see where it's linked. I just wanted to actually run through everything quickly. Okay, it's currently in the logistic. My Claude's currently operating in the logistics agent. Let's see how this. Okay, now it went over to sales manager now. Let's see, I can see some context happening there. Sales manager. And obviously, the more you create, the more you work with your agents and the more they create. Like we could see this sales manager has now just created a file called Sales Intelligence Berlin Wine. And then you can have, so it just created this file for us. And your agents will start creating more and more files as they work. So this context graph will start getting bigger and bigger and bigger as we go. And that's the whole thing, is as it becomes bigger, your agents become smarter. And also you will see that it's actually you'll start to run into other problems when, I know that when there's a specific point, oh, there's something happening. Okay, so the sales intelligence, the strategist and the sales manager is already linked to the sales and the sales intel that the agent created while we were using Cowork. So we can already see how a file that was created by the sales intel, this sales intel file is already being referenced by the strategist and the sales manager. So yeah, Claude is still running here. Yeah, your Obsidian graph should now, okay, here it says. So chief of staff, competition researcher, logistics. So my Claude now says your Obsidian graph should now show a well-connected network between 5 agent nodes. Okay, so here we can see that remember, this is very basic. I created this in 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and we can already see a context graph starting to happen here. But the most important part for me is like, it's context that was created by one agent, the sales manager, and this context is already accessible by a strategist, which is over here. And this strategist has now got not only context of the sales intel, but it also has context of logistics, competition researcher, and the chief of staff is linked to them all as well. So I hope this has given you guys some idea of how to start with agents in a very basic format and how to link them together through just like how to get them to hand over work to and from each other. So would you use Kyle asked, would you use the same process to create and train sub agents? So sub agents, yes, I will actually use the same process. And sub agents is always for me a very interesting space, because for me, sub agents is when my agents train other agents. And that is always to me interesting, because that is normally where you start seeing hallucinations. And for me, a hallucination is normally the result of bad context. So the better context you have and the better this graph is going to give you better sub agents at the end of the day. So the more context is in this graph and the better your, let's call it your company brain is laid out, the better you can create sub agents. So that's just me on how we can use sub agents. But yeah, great question. Yeah, I see we're like 2 minutes away from being out of time. I just quickly want to address that. Yeah, please check next week. We will have Claude design, or not next week, the 20, let me just get the date. I think it's 21st. Yeah, so the 21st, we will have Claude design. We will have our head of UX from the Delta show us Claude design. And that's going to be a great one. And then in a few weeks from now, we will also have a surprise visit from a visitor that is going to give us some really good rundown on outreach, using your agents for outreach. And yes, so I just want to, so yeah, so just on the invites, if you have subscribed to this Luma event, then you will automatically get invites to the next webinar. So I will definitely send it out, but also check my LinkedIn. I normally share it on LinkedIn as well. And yeah, so definitely the next 2 webinars are going to be really cool. And for some of you who follow me, you will also see there's now currently a podcast as well. So yeah. Oh, very last thing. Sorry, before I do that, we just made a poll live. The reason we do that is we want to see what all of you want to hear about and what are interested about. So there's currently a poll live. I would love if you guys can vote about what you would like to see in future webinars. Context seems context is a thing. I suspected that. That's why I put it in there. Because the context is all the rage currently. So yeah, I just want to, before you jump off, please vote in our poll. It helps us to create better content and better webinars for all of you. Please also give me some reviews afterwards. I think Luma will send you a review where you can review how this session was, and if there's something you felt I skipped over or you would like me to delve deeper into, please let me know. And also, if something was unclear to you, most of you are probably connected to me on LinkedIn. Please, you can just drop me a DM and I'll be more than happy to respond in any of the areas here. And if you want to build an agent network that actually takes over the world. That is just so big. Also, talk to me on LinkedIn. I would like to take over the world with you, together with you. So yeah, that is it from me. Thank you everyone for joining for the second episode. I hope you all had. You all learned something at least, even if it's just how to prompt better. And yeah, let's. I hope I see all of you next time. And yeah, look out for the invites for the next webinar. Thank you.